Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the MZM Masterclass podcast. Today I'll be joined by Mr. Aaron Uscilla, partner and head of content at Mad Mango Marketing. In this episode, Aaron and I will be covering all the basics about search engine optimization that small business owners need to know to begin ranking higher on Google and improving their organic web traffic. So without further ado, Aaron, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, sure. As you mentioned, my name's Aaron Uscilla. I'm a partner at Mad Mango Marketing. We're an SEO firm. Originally got started in Connecticut, now based in Florida, helping typically small to medium-sized businesses rank for their services that they provide on Google.
Yes, that's great. So first, I guess, just could you tell me a little bit about how you got to where you are today? Where'd you go to college? What'd you study? And what did your career path look like to take you to your position currently at Mad Mango?
Yeah, so I went to Clemson University and got a business management degree there. I always knew that I was going to be doing something entrepreneurial, so it was pretty much just going for the degree and the connections and the experience. And then I knew that when I got out of school, I'd go start something myself. And so I had a buddy who was, he didn't go to college. He took out a loan to buy 2 tractor trailers. And during those 4 years, he grew his business. So when I got out of school, he needed basically an office partner. So I partnered with him. That was my first experience owning a small business. We did that for about a year or two. He continues to run that business to this day, but I stepped aside. And as I saw more and more opportunity in the marketing space, I had actually some neighbors who were from India. They had a big office back in India, and they were looking for small businesses to build websites for, do SEO for. They recruited me as a salesperson. So that helped transition me away from like the trucking business, which was my first business, into digital marketing. And then I just learned everything from them. And I saw SEO as a service that we could offer without having a ton of development knowledge, as I'm more of a salesperson, marketing person than a dev. So we saw just a nice opportunity in SEO over like website building or even Google or Facebook ad management. So that's what we went with.
That's great. That's great. Is there a particular reason that you chose to specialize in SEO and in particular, I guess, becoming the head of content as opposed to other aspects of marketing and SEO as a whole?
Yeah, so we chose SEO as a whole because clients that opt for SEO packages are usually more concerned with the long-term picture of their business, because SEO is something that doesn't happen overnight. It's not a press of a button or a typing of a few keywords on a page. It takes a commitment to really making your business well-rounded on the internet. So we found that the clients that were interested in SEO were just better clients in general. So that was the biggest reason. Another reason that I mentioned in the previous answer was that we aren't developers or techie per se, and SEO is really just about making your website an information hub for your customer or user. And that's something that anybody can do if they have a content focus. And so when you look at the SEO stack and what it entails, content is a giant piece of it. The other big piece that we focus on at Mad Mango is the backlink building portion, the white hat backlink building. So we just saw a clear delineation between the two and saw that they were both going to need a big time commitment. So we basically divided up the company where one partner focuses on the content and has a team of writers under me, essentially. And then my partner drives the backlink building efforts, and he has a team under him. And then we're able to just make it all work that way. So that's why I'm focused on content and why we chose SEO.
Great. So speaking about these components of SEO, let's get into what SEO is actually for the people at home. So I guess my question for you is, what are the foundational principles of SEO and why would it be crucial for small business owners to know about it?
Yeah, we kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but SEO stands for search engine optimization. So for anybody who doesn't know what the acronym stands for, it's simply optimizing your website to be understood by search engines. So that's the SEO. And it's important for any business owner because, as we all know in our own internet usage, ads are pretty annoying. And SEO is a marketing tactic that you still have to pay for like an ad, but it's presented to the user in an organic fashion. So it's presented to the user in almost a word of mouth more sense than a paid ad in your face. When you see someone's earned that top ranking on Google, there's automatically a slight increase in trust. So we help you get there. And then also another benefit that we see on our end is that the SEO visitor is spending 2 to 3 times the amount of time on site than the ad visitor, because you're getting a lot of clicking around and shopping for the ads versus just investigation with SEO research.
Essentially, for some clarification for the people at home, whenever you search anything up, there's going to be a list of websites that come up on Google or wherever, whatever search engine, and SEO just helps to push your website to the top of that list. And so next, let's talk about the components of SEO. So what do you think would be the top 3 factors that most significantly influences a website's ranking on Google search results?
Yeah. So there's typically 3 pillars of SEO that you can divide the service up into. The first and most basic is the technical side. So is your website easily found by Google? Is it easily read by Google? Those are 2 of the most important things, because if Google can't find your website or read it, it can't rank it. So there's something called making sure that your website's indexed through Google Search Console. That's a free service that you can basically upload your sitemap to, and Google will understand your website that way if things are properly set up. So that's the base, just making sure that that's taken care of. Then from there, we focus on content creation, because again, Google has to first find your site, then they read your site. So if you take care of the technical side and Google can find your site, that's great. But if they find your site and there's no content on it, no information on it, they're not going to know what services to rank your business for. It's just going to be another website that ranks on the 10th page of a Google search. And so the next most important thing, and really what you spend months and months and years building up, is a content hub on your website, so that a customer can come to your site and learn every single thing, every single step of the process about becoming your customer, before, during, or after. And then the third piece, after you've built up your website with a ton of rich content, video, images, is then reaching out to other websites in a process called backlink building, where you get other websites to link to your website. You may be reading a news article and you see a word with a hyperlink on it that links to another website. That's a backlink. So when Google crawls and reads that article, they see the word that links to your website. They take that word or those words as direction on what each piece of content is about, and they're able to basically assume trust from these other websites. If you're a small business in Greenwich, Connecticut, and you get the Greenwich newspaper to write an article about you, you're going to rank a lot higher in that town, because Google sees, hey, this trusted website that's been up for 30, 50, 100 years, whatever it may be, not 100 years, a website, but a newspaper, this trusted source talked about you. We're going to trust you now more for other searches. So technical SEO, content, and then backlinks are the 3 pillars in that order.
That's great. So now let's get into how small business owners would actually apply these principles to their own websites. So first, I guess, what would be the main pillar that a small business owner should start focusing on, and how should they go about doing it at the very basic level?
Yeah, so as I said, the first step is the technical SEO. So you need to make sure that your website is findable by Google. So you'll need to create a Google Search Console account. You'll connect your website and domain to that account. You'll upload your sitemap, which you can usually find with a plugin. If you're using a WordPress site, the Yoast plugin will generate a sitemap for you for free. It's a simple URL. It's usually your website /sitemaps-XML or something like that. You copy and paste that into Google Search Console, and they'll give you a report and tell you how many pages they can access, how many they can't, and you'll be able to see which pages are readable on your site. Sometimes your main service page may not be indexed on Google, and it's going to be difficult to rank that page. So that's step 1. And it's pretty simple. Once it's indexed, it's indexed. It's most likely not going to become unindexed unless you do something that's maybe against Google's rules, or you take action to explicitly unindex your site. From there, it's really creating pages for each of your services individually. Let's say you offer maybe 4 major services from your business. If you list all 4 services on one page, Google will most likely never really rank you very high for anything, because when Google comes and reads the page, there's so much ancillary information that they may think the customer may get confused. They may be getting confused themselves. So creating dedicated pages for each of your services, and then blogging for each of those services based on the FAQs that you're fielding from your customers every day. So let's say, again, you offer 4 services. You create 4 service pages, and then maybe you gather the top 10 FAQs for each of those 4 services, and you write a 500,000 word blog explaining that topic. Or maybe even you shoot a video these days. It doesn't have to be writing. It could be a video that you then transcribe into a blog underneath it. And then from there, for the backlink building, that's the hardest part for business owners. Obviously, the content creation is typically the easiest. The backlink building just takes a constant reminder in the back of your head, like anybody that I'm working with that has a prominent website, I should ask them how we can get linked to from their website. So there's different ways to exchange value with websites. Sometimes you can write a blog for them. So let's say you work with a service provider, your marketing agency. You might say, hey, let me write a blog about how great it is to work with your piece of software, your company. And they'll take that blog and put it on their blog because they want to show their customers how happy they make other people. And then you'll get a link back from that service provider because you wrote the article for them and you gave them basically a free piece of content. There's a number of ways people go about it, but those are the basic things that a business owner can start with.
That's great. So I knew that another important part of SEO is keyword research. So how would small business owners effectively perform keyword research to target their specific audience?
Yeah, so listening to your customer is going to be the main tool to keyword research. These tools that exist on the internet, Ahrefs, SEMrush, they're great for doing that deep blog topic keyword research. But for like the keywords that are going to be placed on your service pages, you need to be talking to the customer like they're a human. You shouldn't be writing big blocks of paragraph text. You should be writing short sentences to the point, accompanied by images. And then speaking to them like you would speak to somebody in the store or over the phone, as direct as possible is what Google wants. Google doesn't want to serve a page with a bunch of fluff in it where you're stuffing keywords in a million places. They're pretty intelligent these days. They can tell if you're keyword stuffing. They want you to really create pages that are more useful than keyword based. It's important to remember that these tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush, they can only identify a keyword as popular after it's become popular and after it's been searched. So if you're on the forefront of your industry and you're talking to customers every day and you see something's up and coming, Ahrefs may not catch it as a popular keyword until 6 months later after all of your competitors have already created content about it. And so a lot of times the best keyword research is done in person, recording phone calls, recording emails, feeding them into some sort of tool that can extract commonly used phrases is almost better than trying to reverse engineer and stuff keywords in.
That's great. So it's important to always be listening to your customer for all parts of SEO as well. So lastly, let's get into how small business owners can measure and enhance SEO performance. And the first topic I'd like to touch on are SEO tools and analytics. So what tools and metrics should small business owners be using to track their SEO performance?
Yeah, so small businesses that are looking for a simple free tool, you really don't need more than Google Search Console and Google Analytics if you just want the basics to get your site on the Google index and then track where the traffic's coming from. Google Analytics will break down your traffic by ads, organic traffic, so you can track over time your organic traffic measures, your organic, maybe lead conversions, because in Google Analytics, you can set up different conversions for different goals you have on the website. And then you can see, are ad visitors converting more than organic visitors, who's spending the most time on site, who's visiting the most number of pages. You want to take it to the next level and do some more keyword research, as you said, and some more competitor research. You can opt for like a single site package on Ahrefs or SEMrush are usually still pretty affordable. Those are the two tools that pretty much everybody in the industry is using. So those are going to give you the best insights. A lot of good Google research comes from simply Googling what you wish to rank for one day and then analyzing why those pages are better than yours. So the big tools and purchasing all these software pieces is really something that should come later on once you really know what you're doing and you have a content plan and a backlink building plan. But those tools do offer some good insight as well.
So it sounds like SEO is pretty accessible for everyone, and you can get into it no matter what budget you have, which is great because some other marketing strategies and approaches take a lot more of resources that small business owners can't afford. So finally, let's get into the SEO pitfalls to avoid. So SEO, as we have all learned during this episode, is pretty complicated. So what are some common SEO mistakes that small businesses make, and how can they avoid them with this process?
Yeah, so getting off base from those three core tenets. 90% of the websites out there are not doing those three things good enough. If you're in a super competitive industry, that may not be the case. You may be in a space where all your competitors are doing good SEO and it's going to take just years based on the competition. But if you focus on the basics, if you focus on creating a single page for each of your services, if you focus on blogging those FAQs and then building backlinks as you can, you're going to eventually ascend to the top. It takes time. It's essentially, again, it's word of mouth. If someone were to come to you and say, hey, Rocky, I need a plumber, you're not going to recommend some guy that just opened up the doors a week ago because nobody knows the quality of his services versus somebody that's been in town, has reviews. It's the same thing for Google. You can get up that list a little bit quicker by building good backlinks, writing good content. But if you just take care of the basics of those two, content creation and backlink building, you're going to do oftentimes much more than your competition either way. It's just going to take, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months of consistently doing it every single month to prove to Google that you're worth that word of mouth. So it's just all about consistency. You don't need to do a lot. Most small businesses can build, 1 to 2 pieces of content a month, 1 to 2 backlinks every other month. And in a year, 2 years time, you're going to see yourself in the top 3 for a lot of local business searches. Now, of course, if your opportunity is national, it's different, as I said. But for local businesses, it just takes paying attention to the basics.
Now, thank you so much, Aaron, and thank you to everyone who is listening at home. If you'd like to learn more about him and his agency, you can check the links out in the description and subscribe for more. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next interview.